It's going to be exciting, Dr. Before we bring Dr. Moreno to the live stream, I want to give a quick thank you. We had in the last 7 days, New Age Medical Center had 17 new people join the family. I want to give a quick shout out to Sandy, Jane, Martin, Jason, Michelle, James, Deborah, Jennifer, Greg, Justin, Jose, Dominic, Vilma, Sarah, Judy. The list goes on and on and on. Thank you very much for joining the New Age Medical Center family. And without further ado, let's bring Dr. Moreno to the live stream. How are you, Dr. Moreno? How are you today?
I'm doing great. Yeah. How you guys doing? How's everybody holding up with the coronavirus, the quarantine? It's crazy, isn't it?
Some people are afraid to step out of the house. Others are more open, but I know you are still open for business, and I know you're still taking telemedicine. So people should not be afraid to call New Age Medical Center for a telemedicine. Correct?
Absolutely, yes. We're definitely open to working with people on an online basis. With telemedicine. We have a very HIPAA compliant, very good platform that is very good. Yeah. Telemedicine.
So, Dr. Moreno, you said anxiety and depression. So, what should we know right now today in the environment that we live about anxiety and depression?
Okay, so today I'm going to do a functional medicine approach to anxiety and depression.
A little bit different than what most people do. Anxiety and depression, are at an all-time high. And it's typically controlled by things called neurotransmitters. These they're kind of like hormones, and they work in the brain and they're made from amino acids, And some of these neurotransmitters are inhibitory, which help us relax, sleep, and some of them are excitatory, which makes us be more active and think and be more critical and have more energy. So the main neurotransmitters that I want to discuss or that we have are serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine. But on today's talk, we're going to concentrate only on serotonin. Serotonin is synthesized from an amino acid called tryptophan. 90% of this neurotransmitter, or this serotonin, is made in your gut, which controls a lot of these gastrointestinal movements. But serotonin is involved in a lot of things, including memory, mood, sleep, and cognition. When serotonin becomes low, people experience a lot of things like depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. And we've got to remember, serotonin is a very powerful neurotransmitter that regulates a wide variety of functions in the human body. The main reasons why serotonin is so important, I am going to talk about now. Number one, it has a primary role in regulating sleep. When serotonin levels are low, we cannot make enough melatonin. Once melatonin is made from serotonin, this is what keeps us asleep. So if you tend to wake up in the middle of the night and are not able to fall back to sleep, this is a primary sign of low serotonin. Serotonin can get low if we become deficient in, believe it or not, B vitamins, which work in converting tryptophan to serotonin, that amino acid. And these vitamins and minerals, including magnesium, which is a big one, is one of the typical things or cofactors that help your enzymes make serotonin. Enzymes convert things to other things. Another way that we can get low in serotonin is that we have a deficiency in the amino acid tryptophan. This can happen if we don't have enough of the right protein in our diet. I've been seeing some of this in vegan or people with vegan diets that are deficient in high bioavailable protein. So poor absorption of amino acids or minerals in our gastrointestinal system can lead to low serotonin. As we become deficient in the building blocks for serotonin production, like tryptophan. Number two, serotonin affects sexual drive. Low levels are related to a greater desire to have sex, but higher than normal levels of serotonin are associated with decreased sexual function and desire. That is why 73% of patients taking SSRIs or serotonin-enhancing antidepressants like Paxil or Zoloft experience one or more sexual side effects, mostly low libido. This is one of the reasons why the FDA has recently approved the new injectable peptide called PT141 or bremelanotide in the treatment of hypoactive sexual desire. So having the right amount of serotonin is crucial. This is why we feel very fortunate at New Age Medical Center that now we have a specialized testing kits to check for all neurotransmitter levels, including serotonin. Number three, Low serotonin has been linked to aggressive behavior and alcoholism. Number four, serotonin affects appetite. It works as an appetite suppressant. People with low levels of serotonin experience increased carbohydrate cravings. Serotonin helps you feel more satisfied, even if you don't eat as much. So at New Age Medical Center, I have a specialized amino acid supplement that helps boost serotonin. So it's a natural thing to help. Especially if I have, especially I found this to serotonin has been measured to below in these people. When I check it, I found it to be very helpful in my patients with weight loss. They usually have a lot of sugar cravings, especially at night. So they usually are doing well during the day, especially if they've been taking a pharmaceutical appetite suppressant. But unfortunately, they cannot take an appetite suppressant in the evening or nighttime because they won't have trouble sleeping. Therefore, by giving the amino acids that boost serotonin, primarily tryptophan, we are able to naturally control or boost, control actually sugar cravings, and at the same time allow them to have better sleep later at night. Secondary to serotonin, later on converting to melatonin, like we spoke about. So we get a dual benefit by doing this. Number five, serotonin is very important in maintaining mood, balance, and treating depression. Low levels are associated with depression. It is important to note that 90% of serotonin is made in your gut. Therefore, it is very important to address gut health in treating anxiety or depression. At New Age Medical Center, I treat gut health through our 4R program. 4 steps. Number one, first R is remove. Remove any allergenic foods. At New Age Medical Center, we're able to customize an elimination diet based on your food sensitivities. This is done through blood testing. Example of food sensitivities are things like gluten, nuts, seeds, dairy, eggs, even condiments, or foods that we eat on a regular basis. So by customizing an elimination diet, we are able to eliminate things like reflux and irritable bowel syndrome and inflammation, and therefore improving gut function. And now the gut's able to produce more serotonin, which helps with anxiety and depression. Number two, the next thing is remove pathological bacteria, yeast, parasites by treating with the appropriate antimicrobials. Number two is replace hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes, which are maybe lacking and therefore not able to break down foods completely. For example, if proteins are not broken down to tryptophan, which is the amino acid, this will lead to low serotonin, as serotonin is made from tryptophan. Number three, re-inoculate. Re-inoculate your gut with good bacteria to help regain healthy microflora balance, which aid in digestion and micronutrient absorption. One of the things that we're doing is you could do this is by giving fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and kombucha. They re-inoculate these. The other thing is prebiotics. These are non-digestible plant fibers that feed microbiota. So these things are from the variety of fruits and vegetables, and yeah, usually like things like you know, microbiota. So they basically we want to get a variety of fruits and vegetables of different colors, and that's the key here. Because those have the really good prebiotics and non-digestible fibers that feed this microbiota. The microbiome. Last, give probiotics example like lactobacillus and acidophilus. Those are very important too. And number four, the main thing is repair. Let's repair the lining of your gut by giving natural anti-inflammatories like cat's claw or turmeric extract. Repair the digestive tract by giving L-glutamine, zinc, carnosine. These are nutrients that help repair leaky gut. Leaky gut literally refers to leaks in your gut lining that allow toxins and undigested food particles that were never meant to pass through your gut lining enter into the bloodstream, causing your immune system to not recognize these particles and start the process of inflammation. This is one of the reasons why autoimmune disease like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis are at an all-time high. So again, thank you for listening to this video. I know people are going to have plenty of questions, but as you can see, the importance of giving your body what it needs so that it can heal itself and do what it needs to do.
Doc, we have some people that say some nice things, and we have a question. I'm gonna ask you the question real quick. So here is real quick. I want to bring it up. Tammy Phillips said, "Love Dr. Moreno and his wonderful staff." Thank you, Tammy. Renee Cap said, "My doctor and he is great, and he's great staff. That's what he said. My doctor
Oh
and his
wow.
great
Yeah, I
staff.
can't do it by myself. That's absolutely true. I mean, if it wasn't for my staff, I would definitely not be here. Definitely.
We do have a question. What
Uh-huh.
tea can be used to control anxiety?
What can we do to you control anxiety?
Tea. What tea?
Oh yeah, generally calamine, passion flower are very, very soothing. Very, there's a lot of some teas that have like kava in it, a small amount of kava, which is Kava. So there's plenty of things that you can calamine, passion flower. These are all things that are very good. And the other thing people do need to remember is essential oils are very good too. People can put a little bit of lavender in their covering of their pillow, and it helps them relax too. But to be honest, the most important thing that people need to that I'm seeing the most of is insomnia. People cannot get to sleep, and one of the main reasons is people are using too much electronic devices, and they actually cause emission of a lot of light rays. Blue light, and that turns on your brain, and it prevents the production of melatonin, because melatonin has to be completely dark for your body to release it. And melatonin is very important for sleep and for shutting off your brain. And believe it or not, melatonin is a really big antioxidant. It helps put the fire off on your brain, so it relaxes your brain.
Hey, Doc. So here, what can you say to somebody that is, they're being at home. Here is they left a comment. They're home. They have cravings at night, and the anxiety, and now they're all of a sudden they're gaining more weight. What can you share? How can you give them a quick win?
Yeah, one of the things that we need to check, especially if they're having anxiety and they're having increased weight, is like what we discussed just recently. They could be low on serotonin, and the way to check that is we have a specialized urinary kit where patients collect the urine and they dip a little piece of paper in the urine different times of the day, and then we're able to assess to see what other neurotransmitters are affected. Because there's other neurotransmitters like GABA and taurine, that we didn't discuss today, that are other neurotransmitters that help people relax, turn off their brain, help them sleep. But the big one for sugar cravings is serotonin. Yeah.
Hey, Doc. Here's a question from Tammy. Tammy
Mhm.
asks, so with me having psoriatic arthritis and Hashimoto, my gut is probably bad, but I'm assuming that you still got to do some checks before giving her an answer. I'm assuming correct?
Yeah, especially with anything that when we're dealing with rheumatoid arthritis or autoimmune, the first thing that I typically start off with is working on the gut. As we discussed, the gut produces a lot of neurotransmitters, and the gut has a lot to do with inflammation. 70% of your immune system is all along the lining of your gut. So your gut is the first place that your immune system works. So if your immune system is getting exposed to foods that you shouldn't be eating, it turns on the immune system and causes inflammation, causes leaky gut, things getting through like we discussed. And that's where the whole thing starts off. And even bacteria that are supposed to only be in the gut end up getting into your system, getting into your circulation. And that turns on autoimmune. And some of these bacteria, viruses, or even foods, they share certain DNA makeup, that is similar to our DNA. So we get cross linkage, where the immune system gets confused, and instead of attacking the virus or the bacteria, starts attacking our bodies. And the thyroid is the main one. When you hear about Hashimoto's, we see a lot of people with a lot of antibodies for thyroid. And when I see that, especially in women, we find out that there's an infectious cause like Epstein-Barr, mono, but definitely need to treat leaky gut so none of that gets through. And that's by treating for food sensitivities, which we've discussed. That involves a special blood test to see which foods their bodies are reacting to. And a lot of times it's the foods that you eat on a regular basis that you crave, the ones that you like. And you don't realize you're having a reaction but up to the next day or 2 days later, which, and by then it's hard to figure out which food did it.
Hey, Doc, we have one more question here that I
Mhm.
think you're going to find interesting. James
Mhm.
Wozniak asks, is
Mhm.
there any peptides available to boost growth hormone levels?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question. Nowadays we're actually staying away from growth hormone. I used to give growth hormone. Now we typically don't use it because, first of all, it's very expensive, And second of all, it's not safe. If you give too much growth hormone, your body will stop making its own growth hormone, and then you're stuck having to get growth hormone, synthetically. And what we need to try to do is to give something to help boost your own growth hormone, and that's something called CJC 125. And what it does is it works from the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is what turns on the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is the one that releases the growth hormone. So this PT141 works as a releasing hormone, very similar to what the hypothalamus produces, and it turns on the pituitary to release growth hormone. So you're actually boosting and releasing your own growth hormone instead of taking something synthetic. And we have ways to check for that. It's called IGF-1. We've seen the IGF-1 and insulin growth factor 1 go up after giving boosters for growth hormone.
Yeah. So, Doc, we've been having people giving you a lot of likes, a lot of love. We have Jane Peters Craven said you helped my hematosis. So he just gave you a nice comment right there, James Peter Craven. There is no more
really appreciate
questions.
The feedback. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. There is no more question, but people are liking the video, so we do appreciate your likes. Obviously, please share this video with somebody, with a friend. Here in Facebook, it will be appreciated because Doctor has great information that we want to help other people, and that's just the bottom line. Doctor, any last take? There are no more questions. Anything else that you would like to add?
I just want to let people know that some of these things, insurance doesn't cover, or it's hard to get into the office. We have all the kits at the office, to check for the nutrients, the neurotransmitters, the gut health. We can send those over to the house, and then we can later on even do a Skype. We could do a lot of consultations through telemedicine now. So, you can have the results. I'll have the results. We go over them, just how we're doing right now. And that's been very helpful, too. That's very good.
Hey, Doc, before we leave, there people have questions about telemedicine. Can you, for those that haven't experienced that service and maybe they feel that they are technically inclined or they're not technically inclined, can you walk somebody through the process and share how easy it is?
Yeah, my office is really good about helping people set up an account or a portal. So everything is, HIPAA compliant, and all your information is safe. It's not going to go out there in the webs. I know they even had some issues with some of the platforms for telemedicine where they were getting encrypted or hacked. I think it happened one time with Zoom. Luckily, we don't have any of those. The ones that we've had, the telemedicine platform that we've had for about 3 or 4 years now. So it's been around for a while, and we know it's proven and works really well. And my office will be more than happy to help you set that up.
Of course, Doug, it's been an amazing conversation. You always, every time I sit down, whether it's in the radio station, here on Facebook, or in person, I always learn something, and I always take away something from our time together. And I hope the people viewing this live video or the replay, because this is going to live in the interwebs forever, then say hi, introduce yourself, and of course ask questions to Doc. There is a comment where you can leave question, and we're gonna come back and answer those questions in a later date if you leave them after the stream. Any last words, Dr. Moreno?
Oh no, just everybody, just stay safe, and don't get too freaked out with everything that's going. Just do what you can to social distance and self isolate as much as you can. But wash your hands and just practice common sense.
And with that said, Dr. Moreno is busy, so we're gonna end the night. But I want to leave you with one last assignment, if I could. If you want Dr. Moreno to talk about something in the near future, please leave a comment, share that, because this is why he does it. He wants to help you, provide good information. So if you tell him what you want him to talk, he will be more than happy to do it. So please leave a comment and let him know what you want to talk about.
Absolutely. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, everybody watching, and see you next time. We're going to be posting the date for the next live stream soon. See you next one.
Thank you so much. All right.